It's Davetona drive time for Monday, January 19th, 2026. Happy MLK Day. Celebrate as you will. I know I am. At work. I got like an hour and a half left on the shift. Chilling in the station car. Been a busy morning, but we're approaching the end of it. And I hope you're just starting your day whenever this uploads. You're probably staying home. It is a federal holiday. Playing games, I hope. I barely got a chance to play any games this weekend, but I found time. I found time to play two. I'll talk about those in just a second. Some news I wanted to talk about. It's Sonic the Hedgehog's 35th anniversary this year. That's insane. I remember like it was yesterday that it was just his 10th anniversary. And I thought even then that was crazy. With the release, what was it? It was Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 came out for the 10th anniversary. And I was like, I'm trying to think back of games that I felt, like games that I anticipated so much. Sonic Adventure 2 is definitely up there. I need to think about, like, it's rare that I get super excited for a game anymore, like on that level that I was when I was a kid. Now I kind of want to think back of, like, what were the games that I'd probably put on that pedestal, you know what I mean? Think back on that list. Anyway, it's Sonic's 35th anniversary, and apparently Sega's planning a bunch of stuff for it, as they should. From what they've announced, what they want to do, it does not sound like a new game is in the cards, but I would assume a new game of some sort would be teased, maybe. Like a new mainline game. Well, Sonic Frontiers, I think, came out in like 2021, 2022. It's been a few years. And since then, we've gotten HD remasters, remakes, spinoffs. What's been out since then? We've got Sonic Superstars, which I haven't played. I kind of want to, even though people weren't crazy about it. We had Sonic Shadow Generations, which I just recently bought on Switch 2. I need to play that. I really want to play that Shadow stuff. Apparently it's really good. And Sonic Racing Cross World, which I still do not own yet. And every time I hear people talk about it, they talk about how amazing it is. And it's insane that me being a Sega fan and a racing game fan, that I don't own this game yet. But as the person who spent money on launch day for Switch 2 to play Mario Kart World and still feels weird about spending $70 on a Sonic kart racing game, I don't know what that says about me. One of these days, though, I'm going to play it. I really want to play it. Because I hear it has more development pedigree with, like, old Sega arcade racers, which is very cool. And apparently the modding scene for that game is pretty good, too. I could care less about the crossovers, though Mega Man and Pac-Man, that's kind of cool. When they mean Crossworlds, I was hoping, like, crossover with other Sega franchises. Which apparently that's happening to an extent. I think they're adding Knights in there. That's cool. We need more Knights. Representation. Do we need another game? I don't know. That Knights Wii game shows us that, like, hey, we want more Knights aesthetic, we want more soundtrack. Maybe not more game. I don't know. Knights is fine. Anyway, Sonic. His 35th anniversary. Our boy's turning 35. Along with his shitty friends. So far, they've announced, according to Video Games Chronicle, a brief breakdown, includes digital content highlighting Sonic's evolution across the decades, which probably just means anniversary website with a detailed chronological order of releases. Fan meetups, which we will stay away from. Brand and retail partnerships featuring limited merchandise. So, like, what was that? One of the 30th anniversary items was, like, this bedazzled medallion thing that you wear around your neck that were like the Sonic character heads. It's like King Ice, I think that's the brand name. Stuff like that. He was like, hey, you want Beats by Dre headphones with Sonic the Hedgehog on them? Like, stuff like that. Big name brands with crossovers with Sonic the Hedgehog. Timberland Sonic boots, which apparently they only made like 30 of those and only sold them in Japan. Your Sonic the Hedgehog Rolexes, stuff like that. I can see a pair of Sonic Crocs being announced, or Croc little bits, whatever you put in the shoes. That could probably happen. What else? Museum pop-ups and art exhibits. Like if that shows like artwork and other like historically significant things around the development of those games, that would be very interesting to see. But I'm imagining it's like, oh, we got your favorite graffiti artists and other cool pop art artists to do some Sonic art. Look how cool that is. Imagine getting a Banksy piece and it has Sonic the Hedgehog in it. What would that be? It would have to have some political message, definitely. They'd find a way. Live concert celebrations. I'm also kind of excited for that. So for the 30th anniversary, that came out, that was like around COVID times, right? Or like on the cusp of it being kind of done with, pandemic-wise. But they did those they did a series of 30th anniversary concerts, and they live streamed one of them. I'm pretty sure I hit up the archive on that. And I watched that, and I was kind of surprised at how emotional that made me. Like, nostalgia is a weird thing for me, because I'm surrounded by stuff that I played when I was a kid still, like, all the time, where it's weird for me to feel nostalgic for anything anymore because I'm so surrounded by old games a lot. But hearing the Sonic Adventure rendition of It Doesn't Matter, played with an orchestra, just made me feel weirdly emotional. Like, in a good way, obviously. And that was cool. Like, I don't get nostalgic for games as much as I used to, you know? And the few times that I do, it's when, like, I vaguely remember a game that I played when I was younger, and I just rediscovered it again for the first time. And it's like, oh my god, I remember this. But I feel like those are becoming few and far between, because I'm kind of, like, nailing down the stuff that I remember seeing as a kid and finally getting to play it, like, on my own terms, you know? But obviously, with music will hit a different resonate, obviously. So I'm hoping for another banger of a concert. This last thing they're doing, probably the more interesting thing, a brand new narrative podcast. Now, I'm not the one for narrative-driven podcasts. I don't like your audio dramas or anything like that. Granted, I've never really taken the time to listen to one. And them doing one for Sonic probably isn't going to change my mind. I don't really listen to audiobooks, though I probably should for, like, I don't know, people in the game industry who put out a book about, like, game development stuff. Game development stories. I'm interested in that. That'd be a good thing that'd be a fun one to listen to. Your Jason Schreiers of the world putting out audiobooks. I'd listen to those. But a narrative-driven podcast, I don't know, like, that doesn't necessarily get me excited. However, the voice acting cast of the Sonic games doing a narrative podcast thing does have potential. Sonic games writing have, you know, teetered on being passable and funny at times. Although they do lean heavily into the melodramatic stuff from time to time, which I could care less about. I don't need melodrama about these fucking anthropomorphic animals. Unless it's Starfox. I dig Starfox. But with Sonic, I don't know, man. I hope they're not hedging their bets on this being a big thing. But, you know, more power to them. And the audio drama is such a big thing in Japan. And I just personally don't see the appeal. But that's just me. This could be up your alley. And I hope it's good. I don't want to talk down on these things that's like, oh, this is going to be terrible, it's going to suck. Like, no, that's not what I'm getting at. It's just like, not really for me, but if they're doing it, then I hope it's a good one. Because, as much as we rag on Sonic fans, they deserve good stuff from time to time. And by all means, for all intents and purposes, the Sonic stuff has been getting better over the years. They'll still have their missteps. Not every Mario game is good. I guess most of them are, but not every one of them is good. But I'm glad Sonic is finally getting his due with some better titles. And at least they're trying stuff. I really want to play Sonic Frontiers. Like, people who even don't like Sonic are like, hey, they're doing something new. And that's way more interesting. Like, I'll take a mediocre Sonic game with a new style mechanic for this type of game. Like an open world Sonic game. Like, that has potential. And maybe they don't hit the landing. But at least they're going for it, And apparently that Sonic Shadow Generation stuff goes for more of that to an extent on a slightly smaller scale, and apparently is a way better fit for it in that particular context. So I'm very excited to play that. Also, I'm a Humble Choice subscriber still, or Humble Monthly, I guess, whatever it's called. And Sonic Frontiers is the game that's coming out for that this month, so I'll finally have my chance to play Sonic Frontiers. So that's exciting. Anyway, happy birthday, Sonic, when that comes around in June. The other news. Oh, to go along with that Sonic thing, apparently it's also Puyo Puyo's 35th anniversary. And Sega's planning some stuff for that too. Good for them. Puyo Puyo's great. I love Puyo Puyo. According to Video Games Chronicle, what do they got? Oh, they're doing a crossover Sonic and Puyo Puyo thing. In Japanese convenience stores. Of course. Is that all that is? Yeah, looks like it. Sega's even planning to bundle both of its big anniversary together in a Sonic and Puyo Puyo collaboration. Oh, just a bunch of convenience stores, hobby shops, with customers able to win prizes like mini character acrylic stands, tin badges, and A4 stickers featuring original illustrations. You don't see Puyo Puyo stuff here. I mean, I wouldn't say for good reason, because Puyo Puyo is great, but, it doesn't have the appeal as, say, a Sonic the Hedgehog does, at least in the States. There's a store here in Cincinnati called Jungle Gyms. There's two of them. There are these massive, huge grocery stores that are more like tourist traps than ideal places to shop. But you go there because they literally have every food item from around the world that you could possibly imagine. And it's like walking into a grocery store amusement park. To the point where there's actual amusement rides in there. They're not functional, they're just there because they look cool. But yeah, the location that's closest to me has a whole gachapon section. Just rows of just gachapon machines. And the one I got, they rotate them out every few weeks from the looks of it. I don't go to this place very often because if I'm buying something very simple, I'm not going to go traverse all the amusement park rides and the touristy things through Jungle Gyms. I'm just going to go to a Kroger that's right next door. But one of the gachapon machines, one time I was there, had Puyo Puyo stuff in it. So I got me a little Puyo Puyo gachapon. I think that's the closest thing to buying Puyo merch in the US that I've ever come across. So I'll happily take the opportunity, even though I paid more than I'd like to for a tiny little keychain. Just more of the novelty of buying Puyo merch. I'm into it. Anyway, happy birthday, Puyo Puyo. Another thing, apparently Marathon, the next Bungie video game, Marathon, had its release date possibly leaked, coming out March 5th. Now, I know the general consensus around Marathon has been very unpopular, and that's not without merit. People had a lot of problems with that game. I certainly do, for the fact that it's an extraction shooter, and I'm not typically into those, despite the fact that Sulfur kind of fits that extraction bill, but like does it in a more streamlined, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Anyway, more streamlined, more straightforward way. Not like a Tarkov. It's got elements of it in there. Marathon is definitely leaning more towards like hardcore extraction shooter. And by design, not necessarily a game I want to really engage with. But I really love that art style. I love how it looks. I really, really dig it. But apparently that came under fire with some like... There's an artist who noticed that a lot of their work was literally stolen and plagiarized and used within early builds of that game and got out in the beta. And according to them, Bungie has since made good on that. But also, fairly recently, with like the last month or so, Bungie has come out of the woodwork to be like, hey, we're talking up Marathon again. We're getting ready for like an early 2026 launch. Showing off some changes to the art style. Very, very slight changes. It still looks like the game, but I would say like the very harsh, contrasty colors has been toned down a bit. Which, I don't know, I kind of liked how it originally looked, but I also agree that this newer look is probably a better fit for this type of game that they're making. While still retaining, like, what they were going for to an extent. Like, I remember they had that, like, weird live-action cinematic trailer that they showed off, like, months ago. And I thought that looked so cool. I thought that looked great. And it was all trapped under a game whose main mechanics I just could not get behind. That being said, it is still a Bungie game, and I'm still kind of interested in what they do with it. I'm really curious where that game goes. Look, it's Bungie, and I really want them to come out on top with this. Like, I'm rooting for them. I don't know why. Like, obviously, like, I root for Bungie because I'm a Halo fan, even though they haven't touched Halo in... when did Reach come out? Like, 2010? They haven't touched Halo in, like, over a decade. And for all we know, a lot of those people at Bungie now have probably never touched Halo. I'd hedge a bet to say that that's probably the case for most of Bungie. But also I spent a very considerable amount of time playing Destiny, especially Destiny 2. And I really enjoyed my time with Destiny 2. Even though many of my friends have come away with that, like, very negatively. But, like, we played a lot of that game. We got a lot out of it. We had a lot of fun playing together. Like, and I feel like a lot of that gets lost when people think about how they feel about Destiny. They're like, oh, I didn't care for the story. It's like, oh, it's just such a grind. It's like, oh, we just do the same thing over and over again. It's like, oh, I'm just not getting anything out of Destiny. And I'm like, we are very different people where it's not the content that I'm getting a lot out of Destiny. It's the fact that I'm playing with friends and we're having a fun time playing it because we're doing it together. That's what Destiny means to me. That's what most video games mean to me. And I feel like people are losing sight of that when they're thinking about Destiny. And yeah, like, I haven't played Destiny, like, in a very meaningful way in a long time. I stopped playing before the Final Shape came out, and apparently the Final Shape is really fucking good. I've since come in ownership of that stuff, but just haven't gone back to it because I have no one to play with. And I don't know if I'll ever get around to playing that because just no one has the drive to play Destiny. And like, look, that's their prerogative. That's fine. I've talked about this before in like older episodes, but yeah, I just don't get much out of those games if it's not with friends. And that's where I make my memories with those games. If you asked me what the story of Destiny was, I just know it was like a big old orb that gave humans mystical power type things, and like granted them like insane acceleration of their technological prowess, and in doing so, they've come in contact with different alien species that has really fucked them up. So that's about as much as I got of it. But like the more like the tinier stories with like all the characters, like I don't really know, and I kind of don't really care. Just give me a interesting setup for the world, give me some missions to do in it, and I'll be happy. If you ask me what the story of Phantasy Star Online was, I also really couldn't tell you. I just know that there's a space colony that lands on a planet. We lose contact with them, and then the other ship that is like also coming to that same planet, it's like, yo, what the hell's going on? Let's figure it out. You know? Same idea. I got a lot out of Phantasy Star Online, not because of its story or like its general whatever. It's because I played it with friends, and I had a fucking great time playing it with friends. Granted, I play a lot of that game solo now still, but like, I still really enjoy it for what it is. I kind of got on a tangent here. Anyway, Marathon's apparently coming out in March. I'm interested to see what happens to it. I'm rooting for Bungie. I want them to come out on top. I should play those older Marathon games. I have them on PC. Those fan-made re-releases that have been granted, like, with Bungie's blessing. I played a little bit of that first one they put out and was very surprised at how much I enjoyed playing it and got into its world and read all the little logs and stuff. Like, I was really into it for what little I played. But it's also been long enough where I probably should start over. I should play those. Apparently the later ones, especially the second one, get real fucking good. I want to try those. In terms of what I've been playing recently, not a whole lot. This past week has had me so busy outside of work. I just really haven't had time to play a whole lot. But what little time I had this weekend, I did make time for 2 games. One of them is a relatively recent arcade racer. I know, shocking. It came out in July. It's called... Oh, fuck. What's it called? It's... I literally played it last night just so I could have something to talk about. I recently picked it up in one of those Fanatical bundles. I buy a lot of Fanatical bundles. Because a lot of the time they have stuff that I really want to play. But anyway, it is an arcade racer. It's kind of like F-Zero mixed with Starfox, if that makes sense. It had like the most generic ass name, and I can't remember. I can't believe I don't remember. Okay, it is called Star Racer. That's probably why I couldn't remember it. It just sounds so generic. Star Racer. It is a game that is like heavily influenced by original Super Nintendo F-Zero, but also mixes in a bit of some mechanics from F-Zero X. So the ships are like 2D sprites as they would be in F-Zero, but like all the environments are full 3D. All your race tracks and everything are full 3D. So it's got a pretty cool looking aesthetic. I dig how it looks. I think it looks neat. But it also has a bit of Starfox in there. So there are, on certain tracks, I say certain tracks, but it kind of happens on all of them. There are certain parts of the track where you launch off a jump and you kind of go into a flight mode where it's kind of on rails until you reach the next part of the track. but your ship kind of transforms real quick, and you kind of have like this on rails like fighter jet like kind of mechanic, and you have a crosshair in front of you, and you're like you're shooting bullets you're shooting lasers out of your craft, and it kind of controls a bit like Starfox. You got your barrel rolls and all that stuff, but it only lasts like a few seconds, and in that time you can like actually shoot at other racers and like slow them down and like do damage to them. It's really strange. But it works to an extent. There are certain tracks that are built around the mechanic of like, oh, you're going to be flying for a good long time, and then it just transforms back into a regular race. When you're racing, the main mechanics are very like a mixture of F-Zero and F-Zero X, F-Zero GX. Why not? You got your boost power. After the first lap, you get boost power. When you use your boost, it uses up your ship's health. You got like a side strafing attack, like a little quick attack, and then you have like a spin attack. Very, very F-Zero GX coded, F-Zero X coded. And then the handling is more akin to regular F-Zero. But in a way, it feels very unreliable. It feels very unpredictable the way the handling is. You only get 5 ships to start out with, and you have to unlock the others by like completing Grand Prix, and then you're challenged by them to a race. Kind of like how you unlock characters in Smash Brothers. Where like, oh, you have the option of like, oh, a challenger appears, you got to fight them, and then once you beat them, you get that character. Same idea. You complete some Grand Prix, you challenge them to a race, you win the race, and then you get that character. But yeah, like all the ships kind of handled differently. They have different attributes, like you would expect from an F-Zero type thing. But it doesn't play enough like F-Zero for me to be comfortable with how the ships control. And in a way, that's fine. I shouldn't expect that. Like a game should also try to like a racing game, when it comes to handling, it should also try to do its own thing, you know. And maybe I'm just too like wired into how I want to play this game like an F-Zero game, where I just can't adjust properly. But turning feels very inconsistent and unreliable to the way where I think it should be. Like you hold down the triggers to like kind of skid your left or right side of the car into the ground to like do tighter turns. And in some instances, like the turning feels like how it should be, and in some instances, like I'm not turning enough. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong to cause that to happen. The sense of speed feels fine. Like I don't feel like I'm going like ungodly fast like I am in F-Zero X or GX. I don't even feel as fast as I would be in like regular F-Zero. But I feel like if this game were any faster, I would almost consider it slightly unplayable. There are 4 difficulty levels. I haven't seen if the higher difficulty levels actually make you go faster. I've only played on like the second one. But I don't know. I came away from it being like there's potential here, but I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't hate it, but I also am like not in love with it. I probably need to spend a bit more time with it. But it's got an interesting look. It's very bright, it's very colorful. I'll have to give it a stream sometime. This is definitely a stream-worthy game for sure. And it also came out like back in July. If you do want to check it out, I don't know if it's on other consoles, and I'm pretty sure it's out of early access. I could not tell you. It's like $10 on Steam. There's workshop support. You can build your own tracks in-game with an in-game editor and share them. They are very proud of that. Like the main menu has like race, and then the second one is track builder or whatever. That's like one of the big defining features is like building your own tracks. So that might be fun to mess around with. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, that's Star Racer. If you can remember that super generic name. It's $10 on Steam. That Fanatical bundle has it where it's like you choose 3 racing games and you get the whole bundle for $5. and that's one of the games on there. There's a good chunk of racing games on there. Oh, that'd be a fun video to do, being like, oh, let's talk about, like, hey, here's some Fanatical's doing this bundle. It's not sponsored. This isn't a sponsored bit or video. I just want to talk about some cool racing games that you can get for real cheap and give my personal recommendations to. But you know me, when am I going to have time to make videos? Who has time to make videos nowadays? It's crazy. Anyway, the other game I've been playing, I would say I almost bought it on a whim, but I watched like a live stream of it, and that was enough to make me be like, okay, I kind of do want to play this. And that's Hytale. It's the new Minecraft-like by people who played a lot of Minecraft. If you're not familiar with this game, it has a very, very interesting development history. It was developed by two guys. It was primarily started up by two guys who had a Minecraft server, a very popular Minecraft server called Hypixel. And kind of like, okay, let's take this further. Let's make our own video game. And they had this very ambitious plan to make their own Minecraft-like type game. And at some point, that game was acquired by Riot, the League of Legends people, to continue development there. That happened like 2020, I think. And then at some point, after years of development in 2025, Riot's like, game's canceled. We're done. We're not doing this shit no more. Just kind of out of nowhere. And then also out of nowhere, the original devs were all like, hey, we bought the game back from Riot and we're going to put it in early access in like 2 months. So that doesn't happen. That never happens in video games. But what a cool story. Like, hey, these people are so passionate for this game that they bought it from the main huge super company that bought them. And they're like, no, we really believe in it. And Riot's like, okay, go for it. Buy it off. You can have it. Like, do your thing. And apparently the version that was being developed under Riot was becoming a very different thing than what ended up releasing in early access last week. And they're like, we're going back to what we were making prior to all that stuff. And what that was a game that is fully playable with like mechanics and graphics and all that stuff. So that they put it out in early access last week. It is not on Steam. It is not on any consoles. It is its own thing. You go to the website, you buy it on the website, you make an account, you download their own custom launcher, and you play the game. It's like $20 to get in. To be like, there's like different tiers. There's like the standard tier, there's the supporter tier, then there's the founder tier or whatever. They all have like different like price ranges, and like, oh, you get like exclusive cosmetics because you played in early access and you paid this much for it. Which I'm not crazy about that. And it's cool that that's there for people. And apparently if like I'm into this game enough, I can go back and pay for the extra tiers if I really want that stuff and really want to support the project. So I just went for the $20 tier because I'm like, I watched streamers play this. Particularly, I watched Vinesauce play it. And I was hearing about this game. I literally went in watching this stream knowing zero about what this game was really doing other than the fact that it's like other Minecraft. And just seeing the quality of life stuff that this game does in terms of like its major gameplay mechanics, its crafting, and realizing like, oh, maybe I do want to play this. So I watched that stream, and then once I had a free moment over the weekend, I went and bought it and played it for a couple hours, handful of hours, turned into more hours with what little time I had over the weekend. And yeah, I'm really digging it. I think it's a really good one of those. It's kind of cool to play a game that's like you're on the cutting room floor, kind of. Like, you're at ground zero of this game that is just coming out, and you're seeing it for the first time, playing it for the first time, and just seeing where things are, and getting the chance to watch it evolve in real time. Like, early access games are like that, obviously. But what it mostly comes down to with stuff like that is, like, you're mostly seeing content be added over time, rather than, like, major gameplay systems be changed or altered. And I remember my first year of college, I got really, really into Minecraft. This was in 2010, when Minecraft was still in alpha. I remember playing Minecraft up from the TIG Source forums, the indie gaming source, that Derek U website. When Notch uploaded a small build of it to TIG Source forums, I remember downloading that and playing that. And it only had two textures. It had a ground texture and a stone texture. And our shitty kid's computer that we had in my parents' house could barely run it. Granted, Minecraft itself wasn't a very well optimized game to begin with. And also the kid's PC could barely run anything beyond Gold Source games. It ran Counter-Strike fine, ran Half-Life Deathmatch fine. Couldn't do more beyond that. Not to say Minecraft is a graphical powerhouse, but you know, it was at the time it was made by one guy, ran on Java, and our shitty kid's computer couldn't run anything remotely touching that. But I just always kept I always kept Minecraft in the back of my head, being like, okay, this is a really cool idea. It's obviously early, but I like the idea of just like this totally editable, like customizable, like creative world you could do stuff in. And I just like kept it on the back burner of my head and be like, okay, this is neat. And then around college time was when it popped up in the news again and being like, oh yeah, that's that game. And it's exploding for some reason. Like, it's gaining traction. And the weekend I remember I started playing Minecraft was when they were overloaded with people trying to buy it. And Notch was like, okay, PayPal and stuff to buy the game is not doing so hot right now. So this weekend, Minecraft is free. Download Minecraft for free, play it. It's yours. If you feel compelled to, after you've played it this weekend, please consider buying it with money. So I played it for free that weekend. After that weekend, I immediately paid the $10 for it. And have been following it closely ever since then. Granted, my interest in playing Minecraft has definitely died down over the years. But man, being on the ground room floor for, like, watching Minecraft grow from, like, when I played it in alpha to where it is now was really exciting to watch, but at the same time, it also became a game that I kind of just didn't want to really interact with or play anymore. And playing Hightail now made me realize what it was that, like, made me kind of stray away from Minecraft. It almost felt like they kind of bolted on different gameplay mechanics to Minecraft in an attempt to make things a bit more interesting. Like the hunger system and how you handle life and the combat and stuff. I just wasn't a fan of it. I just didn't like what they were doing with Minecraft in that regard. But it stuck, and I just never really liked it. I dealt with it and handled it and continued to play Minecraft despite those mechanics rearing their ugly head. And I still enjoyed Minecraft, but I don't know, my enthusiasm for Minecraft has definitely waned over the years. So playing Hightail now really kind of gave me that feeling of how I felt playing Minecraft for the first time. And that's really cool. That was really exciting to feel again. And you can tell how early this game is. It's like, it doesn't have all the sophisticated stuff that Minecraft would end up having, or even had when I first played it, or even had when I played it in college, I should say. Like, you got your basic building, you got your crafting system, you got your exploring, you got your combat, all that stuff. But I feel like each one of those things like is a step above the way it was in Minecraft. So like movement feels better. Like you can go up like one block steps without having to constantly jump all the time. Your jump height is 2 blocks. That's crazy. You can clamber up to stuff. Like you can grab ledges and pull yourself up to higher places. You can run over 1 block gaps and not fall through them, you know? Basic movement in an environment that's like that. Like that goes a really long way to making it a more enjoyable game experience. The combat feels really fun. Like you can guard, you can do like different moves of like when you hold guard and attack, you can like push your enemy back. You can do charge attacks. You can, if you attack enough, you can have like a weird, like a little ultimate move to do extra damage. There's an option in the options menu to turn on enemy life bars, which I highly recommend because it allows you to approach combat so much more differently than in Minecraft. Like the way you can see how you're whittling down enemy health bars and gives you an option to like change up how you approach combat. And it makes it way more fun. It makes it so much more fun. Like I love engaging with the combat in Hytale. I think it's great. And it's so simple. It's so basic. But the tiniest little touches they add of like, like guarding and charge attacks and like turning on the health bar especially. The health bar is probably like the biggest differentiator. It goes such a long way to making that combat system feel so much more fun to engage with than in Minecraft's. I like how they handle healing and the and food and hunger. Your character doesn't really have hunger, but like eating food will immediately heal a little bit of your health bar. But it also gives health regen. So like you eat food, it gives a little bit of health back, but your food is still in your stomach, and over a short amount of time, your health bar will regain more health because you have food in your system. And that stuff doesn't degrade through like stamina and stuff. You have a stamina bar, but it has no repercussions on like hunger and health. It mostly comes down to like running and certain combat abilities. Like that's what stamina is used for. So already, like, I feel pretty good about where Hytale's at, and I feel really good about where it's going. And I'm really excited to keep playing more of it. And I'm really hoping my friends hop onto it as well, because I think there's a lot of really cool stuff here. And I'm excited to see where it goes. They've got a good thing going, and I hope to see it through wherever it ends up. So give Hytale a shot. If you like Minecraft and want to relive what it was like to play it again for the first time, Hytale does a pretty good job at it. Also, they streamlined the crafting. The crafting is great. You don't have to have all this stuff in your inventory on your person. You can just have it in chests, and the game just knows to like pull certain items from your chest. You don't have to put it in like a little grid to craft. If you have the resources, it just gives you the stuff. And it just pulls from all your personally owned chests to craft all that stuff. It's so easy and convenient. It's so smart. It's really good. I highly recommend it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Hytale and a little bit of that Star Racer game. I'll give Star Racer, I'll give it the stream treatment. I want to play it on stream. I didn't get a chance to stream on Saturday because of how busy I was. Although next stream is going to be, we're going to continue playing Super Mario Brothers because we still haven't finished it yet. We're going to do it though. We're going to get there. I'm not streaming anything else until we beat Super Mario Brothers. And I better, because there are a lot of other games I really want to stream. So look forward to that. But yeah, that's going to do it for Drive Time. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching if you're on YouTube. Be sure to get this podcast if you're watching on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. So we're on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. We're on Amazon Podcasts. I realize I don't put the RSS feed link in the episode description, so you should check and see the episode description if I end up doing that. Hopefully I remember. I have to do some editing for this because I coughed a bit. But you don't know that. Hopefully. Hopefully I got all the bits where I cough. Apologies if I don't. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. And I'll catch you next week. Take care.